Well, here we are again, ready to make something else. This is going to be a really quick demo and a really fast project. It's a real simple thing to make, but it comes in really handy, particularly for people that do a lot of pin turning. It's a magnetic pin vise where you can actually use your lathe to assemble your pin parts. It's magnetic. One goes in the headstock, one goes in the tailstock, and the magnets will hold them in place. Then you put your parts between them, and as you crank your quill, it applies pressure, and you can get complete positive assembly on your pin parts without going too far, because you have complete control. And when you're done, you just put them back together. They will stay together for storage. And we'll get into making that project in just a moment. Okay, we're ready to begin. And I've already taken a small block of Osage orange, and I've chucked it up and I've turned it round. You can go anywhere from 1 3/8 to 1.5 inches for this initial diameter. The first step is to drill a hole for the magnet. So I've got a 1/2 inch Forstner bit in the Jacobs chuck. We'll turn the RPMs down to about 500, which is a good speed for drilling holes. And you just want to drill a hole about 1/8 of an inch deep. Now all we have to do is now test fit that magnet, and we've got a good fit. Now the problem is, how do we get it back out? Now the solution to that would be get another magnet and pull it out. Now the next step is to cut a tenon on this around that's actually going to go into your headstock and tailstock. Now the actual diameter is going to depend on your lathe. You would have to measure the inside diameter in your headstock and tailstock and come up with the appropriate dimension. For my lathe, it's about 11/16. Okay, now we'll just take a parting tool and we'll cut that, turn the speed back up, and we just need about 1/4 of an inch. That's about 13/16, so we've got a little ways to go. And that's about right. So now the only other thing we need to do is measure at anywhere between 3/8 and 1/2 inch for the face of our piece. And then you just take your parting tool and you part that all the way off. And as it gets a little smaller, you just hold it with one hand and cut it completely off with the other. And now, all you would have to do would be to take this surface and clean it up and get it flat. And you're halfway there. Now, there's no sense in making another one. It's going to be exactly the same as this. You drill for your magnet, you make your tenon, and you cut it off. It's very, very fast, very, very simple. And all it takes is 2 magnets. And you wind up with a pin vise. And I'll show you in just a second how we'll actually use that. Okay, now we have both of our clamps turned, and all that would be required for these would be to glue the magnets in. Now when you glue the magnets in, be very careful and get them north and south oriented so they will stick together when you put them together this way, as this pair is. If you don't put them together this way, if you turn one magnet around, they will repel each other. And this is a great way to keep them together for storage, so you don't lose one. Now to use them, they're very simple. The magnet will hold it in the headstock and the tailstock. And then if you wanted to assemble a pin, you would just lock down your tailstock and use the quill to apply pressure. And you can just crank this on in until you have the different pin parts completely inserted. The problem with so many of the pin vices that are on the market is it's an over center thing where you have to push down to apply the pressure. And it's really easy to push some of the pin parts in too far, and then your pin doesn't work. This gives you positive pressure. You have complete control over how much you turn these pin vices in. And it's a wonderful thing for pin turners. When you're done, you put them back like that, and you're done. It's a quick and easy project, and like I say, if you don't want to turn one, you can buy one. They make them in, mostly they make them out of nylon and put the magnets in them. But you can make your own, and it's a fun project, and it only takes a few minutes. And I hope you enjoyed watching this because I enjoyed making it.